season. 'Tis the season for a lot of football. And here we are again. But sadly, the news is negative. Okay, right. First things first. I'm going to make sure I'm in focus for this bit, right? Because it's been an absolute pain, this. Okay. There we go. First of all, right, those new retro range. Oh, it's filth. If I'm honest with you, I'm not going to get the hoodie because it's the same as the one I've already got in there. However, the T-shirt and the new amber jacket, they have got my name written all over them. And I've already got 2 pairs of the trackies. So in terms of bottoms, I'm okay. But oh my God, the rest is just absolute filth. It is just, they are just glorious. 30 quid for the shirts as well. That's lovely. That is absolutely lovely. Get me a size large in the amber jacket and the tops, please. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll see you on Thursday morning when they're released to members. Yeah. Wow. I'm in love. I cannot wait. Get me one if you want, mate. Hey, Lee, I'll try. And it's come just in time for Christmas as well, so I don't even have to pay for them. It's glorious and I like it. Okay. But on the more negative stuff, Jaden. Oh dear, Jaden Philogene. What are we gonna do without him? But it's a chance to prove that we are not a one-man team, and we are not reliant on Philogene, right? This is a chance to prove it. Okay? Let's go and do it. Let's go and prove that we are not just Jaden Philogene FC. He's going to be out for roughly 6 to 8 weeks. So, if we're still in touching distance of the playoffs when Jaden comes back, that's solid. That's solid for me. Right. Anyway, Ollie, how you doing? Tigers on top. No, I didn't. I was at Tenor Face the Strange instead. One of my teachers wrote it, so he gave me a free couple of tickets. So that was very, very nice because I knew I wouldn't be doing QPR. Lee, up the Tigers, mate. Lee, different Lee, loves them. Gallagher, how you doing? Simon, hello. Coxie says, if Rossini plays a Dharma on the wing over Vaughan, I'll lose my mind. Yeah, I will do the same. Lee, crying. Simon will miss him. And yeah, middle of January, he'll be back. Yeah, it's Leo on the thumbnail, by the way. It's Leo on the thumbnail. Right, give me a second. Because the man who painted this, which is sat, you can see the reflection of the StreamYard thing in it, and this is sat pride and place in my bedroom until yesterday when I had it just here by the side of my desk like I have done since I've got it from Leo. It's got a lovely message addressed to Collins on the back. I was using an hairdryer, as Jeremy Clarkson would have said. And what I assume happened is the top of the picture was not resting against the wall. Therefore, a bit of air pushed it back slightly and then it tipped forward, smashed a glass and like a ceramic pot that I keep loose changing. So that is now in here and I have to take precautions with this. So, Leo, I'm sorry, but it's going to go back over there for streams. I'm going to move that actually so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, don't think he'll play with wingers, to be honest. I think he's got no choice but to play with wingers. It's the system. But will be interesting to see who he puts there, whether he goes for Vaughan, whether he goes for Traore, Vinagre maybe. Coxie says, it seems to be a trend the players we're getting from Turkey are quite injury prone. Cynic, Aliar, Lakilo, Tufan, all having injury problems. Tufan, the lesser of the lot. Lakilo we've had for a few months and he's already missed too many games through injury. Cynic, Aliar, yeah, I get. But yeah, Tufan, I don't think he's that bad. Hold on. Okay. So, Leo, I'm going to assume you mean locked. Is that locked in? You will be in locked up. You'll be in locked in. Whatever. Wilkes and Maddison on the wing. Not Maddison, as Leo will say, just Wilkes. Yeah, I did see someone say that in the retro range that they've released, where they did the shoot in Thieving Harry's. Oh, it's quite funny. Someone said, nice to see. Nice to see Marcus Maddison. Marcus Maddison wearing, well, back in Hull City colours again, which was quite funny. I gave that tweet a like. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. Right then. Ashley says we're screwed when it comes to the back line. Coyle, Mack, Christie were poor. Furlong's not played a minute and Ruben's only just back. Only credible ones are Greaves, Jones, and Coyle at right back. Interesting. Coyle in there twice. Interesting one. Furlong must be thinking, what the hell am I doing here when I saw Slater at left back? Yeah, the Furlong one's a weird one, isn't it? It's a really, really weird one. The fact he's come in and Rosinha said he's someone that the recruitment team picked out and they're excited. He'll suit the way we play. And then he said around the time we played Millwall that you've got to wait for the right time to give young players the debuts and stuff like that. Yet that time doesn't seem to be coming for Furlong, which is interesting. Not sure. If it were me, I think I'd give him a go against Borough. What else have we got to lose? Why didn't we just keep Fleming? Can't lie, Rosie pisses me off when it comes to young players. Because it's interesting when he says Fleming needs to go out and get games. So he loans Fleming out and then replace it to get minutes because he's not played much, only to bring in a player to be in and around the first team immediately who's played less games of professional football than Fleming, and it's not even like 1 or 2 either. He only had half a season on loan at Motherwell. He played something like 9 times. Let's compare them, actually. James Fairlong, Walter, he played on loan at Motherwell. He played 16 games, it says here. And he played once for Shamrock Rovers in 2019 before he joined Brighton in the League of Ireland. So he's played 17 games of professional football. Plus 3 appearances in the Papa John's Trophy last season, but they don't count. Although they were against professional opposites. Okay, so let's settle with he's played less than 20 games of professional football. Brandon Fleming. He's played 44 times in black and amber so far. Played 10 times on loan at Bolton in 2019-20 before that season was curtailed because of COVID. In half a season, last season with Oxford, he made 15 appearances. And this season already with Shrewsbury, he's played 8 times and he's now had a bit of an injury which has set him back. So Brandon Fleming has made 77 appearances. He's played 77 games of professional football. So, if we go back to Fairlong, we said that was 16, 17, 77 minus 20. If we count all the Papa John's ones, is 57. Yes, Fairlong is 21 compared to Fleming's 24. But Brandon's played 57 more times than Fairlong in professional football. So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act, yeah. Rosie's saying after QPR, they're only mistakes if you make them twice. So I've made the same mistake. Yeah. Seri with hospital passes back to in and around our own box. That's not good. Yeah. What was Allsop doing for that first goal, by the way? Why would you just fish dive for it? Are you an idiot? Why we got rid of Elder on a free, I'll never know. I understand it. I do understand it, right? But because we can do better than Callum Elder at the football level we want to be at. That's fine. That's a fact of football. But there surely has to be a better option than playing Jacob Greaves or Louis Coyle there. Even if he's a development signing, he's the same age as Delap and Philogene, so surely we brought him in with the intention of playing him. That's a good point. I think a loan in Jan. And then we'll bring in another left back. So, Joe, you're in the camp of give Ingram a chance. I am in the camp of give Ingram a chance. Ingram has been dropped for worse. No, sorry. Ingram has been dropped for lesser things than...
Good evening, Joe.
Oh, Alexa, shut up. Ingram has been dropped for less than Allsop has done. You know, that one against Watford, the Swansea ones he should be doing better with. The terrible passing, that kind of thing, and the one against QPR. Ingram's a safe pair of hands. If we want to be a Premier League club, can we do better than both Ryan Allsop and Matt Ingram? Yes, of course we can. But in terms of being a safe pair of hands at Championship level, you can do a hell of a lot worse than Matt Ingram. And I was talking to James Hogarth on the radio about this earlier, Allsop. It seems as though he's a hill that Liam Rosenior is willing to stand on as long as possible before he dies on it. So we'll see. Bring Ingram back. Ingram's never been bad. Should have got George Cox. With hindsight, George Cox would have been such a good signing. But we didn't go for it. And we thought it's fine, we've got Vinagre, but Vinagre's just not hit it. Cox looked solid. Wilkes is clear, mate, in terms of that Tom Eaves comment. Hi from Mark and Kieran. Mark and Kieran, how you doing? Bring Ingram back. Yeah, right. Team news. Philogene absent for shit typo. Philogene will be absent for 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury sustained in the 2-0 defeat to QPR. Alfie Jones will return to the squad after missing the trip to Loftus Road for the birth of his first child. Ruben Vinagre is back in contention after recovering from a hamstring injury. And now we get into this stuff. Right. Aliyah Sayadmanesh has a minor foot injury. And injuries to Jason Lakila, who tweaked his hamstring in training last week, and Dokan Sinek with his knee problem mean Harry Vaughan is our only fit winger for the trip to the Riverside Stadium. Yeah, that's how we're looking. I would even play Vinagre at left wing, although I think personally he'll play Slater or Twine there. Probably, yeah. Vinagre is class, mate. What you on about? Had one bad game for us, should be a regular. He's a great wing back at this level. I think he's too one-footed. For the system we want to play, I think he's too one-footed. He can't block a cross. I've watched him put one decent crossing in half a season. So, yeah, hey. We'll see on that one. Angus, how you doing? I want to give Aliyah and Sinek their chances, but this is ridiculous. Not good enough for the champ. Get rid ASAP. I don't think we'll move Sinek on in Jan. I think he'll still be injured. He's still in Turkey, and Rosenior says he's recovering well there with home comforts. So, yeah. But I don't get that whole send him home to recover, because he's never going to feel at home here if every time he's injured or life's a bit difficult, we say, oh, it's all right, Dodo, just go home. There's player welfare, and then there's babying them. You've got to remember, Dokan, he's a 24-year-old adult who did his ACL getting out of bed in a hotel the morning of a game. He's an adult. It shouldn't be send him home and stuff like that when he's injured. He should be here recovering so that the fitness coaches and the medical team can actually keep an eye on what he's doing and monitoring him closely. Because he spent all this time getting fit, played in the 21s for a game, on the bench, and then got injured getting out of bed. This is a professional athlete who we paid between 3 and 4 million quid for. Whatever. Cynic needs a chance. Aliyah, he's had his chance. Well, neither of them can get a chance when they're so just chronically sick-noted. Cynic ain't going to get his chance, Will. Keeps getting injured stupidly. We can't... Yeah, his contract's up at the end of next season. We need to cut our losses ASAP for me. He's been injured twice with us, excluding the injury he already had when he joined. Yes, he's injury prone, but so many quite good players are like that. He wasn't injured when we signed him. He got injured in his very first training session. Then went out to Turkey, got injured there. And then because the way their season works, because their season finishes later, he had to have a certain amount of break before he started pre-season with us, which has had a knock-on effect. But let's be honest, right? Yes, there's being injured twice, but there's having just chronically long-term injuries and doing one of them, getting out of bed. You cannot, as a professional athlete, it's incomprehensible to me how you can injure your knee ligaments getting out of bed. Just don't get it. Cynic isn't good enough to justify these injuries. I'm not entirely sure his injuries are real, to be honest. I think he just wants out. I do think he just can't be asked, quite frankly. But equally, these are legitimate injuries. I think once he's actually on the pitch, from what I've seen of him, his effort levels, you can't knock him. When he came on against Ipswich, he was fighting, he was battling. When he got subbed on for his debut and a couple of games like Birmingham at home last season, he was battling, he was fighting. He looked as though he should have had a start at some point, but it never came. It never came. Because he was either A, homesick, or B, injured. So I just don't get it. For me, you cut your losses as soon as possible if you're a senior. The same with Aliyah. And then we reinvest the money that sale could bring in an actual decent pair of backup wingers who are not injury prone and have some credible championship experience or football league experience that can be useful to us. We've still got Longman out on loan, remember? And he's doing really well at Millwall. You've got to remember, for all the stick he got, Longman, he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player at all. Ashley, I think Jess Raksaki, and same with you, Will, I think that's dead. Because I think he's got a hamstring injury at the minute, which he picked up playing for Palace. And, injuries happen, and it's the first one of his career. It's only 6 weeks, but that takes him up to January. And Palace didn't let him go because they couldn't get a deal over the line. If they get a deal over the line, only then will Jess Raksaki be able to come in. But chances are, Hodgson will be happy with him. He's been coming off the bench and playing. Although it is definitely one worth exploring because we've built that bridge with Palace already, with players like Malcolm last season and going and getting Raksaki again. And we were the club in pole position to get him. You can be as good a footballer as you want. If you play once a season, you're basically useless. Reece James, thank you. It's a great point. Gökhan Sinek might be as good as Lionel Messi. But if he's permanently in Turkey, either being homesick here or recovering from injuries, and he's away from the first team squad, how is he going to integrate? And how is he going to show that potentially Messi as good I'm not saying he's as good as Lionel Messi. He definitely isn't. If he had like even a fraction of Messi's ability, he'd be at a much different place to Hull City at the age of 24. But there might still be a player in there. But if you don't put the effort in and you're permanently injured, what's the point in you being here? That's my view. Has Adama done enough to warrant a new deal? I think so, because he's a good utility option in terms of playing as an 8. Rosenior's utilised him in wide areas as well. Yeah, I think he has. Ryan Kent and King, I like them. Josh King, of course, used to play for us. Kent is a signing I'd love. Him on one wing, Philogene on the other would be great. Then you've got an option of Twine, Tufan, Traore, etc. through the middle. Slater, Seri, Morton, maybe Max Bird. We've been linked with Corey Blackett, Taylor as well. Kent is a good signing, would be a good signing. Same with Josh King. In terms of looking for alternatives to Delap and Connolly, I think we could definitely do a lot worse than Josh King. And Turkish football has been suspended because of an owner rocking up and one banging a referee. So, yeah, we'll see on that one. But Ryan Kent hasn't settled in Turkey at all. And it would not surprise me to see him move away from Fenerbahce. Theli last season could be returning in Jan. Could he hit the ground running? Maybe. I don't see Uriel Theli being given a chance, to be honest with you, Coxie. I know I made the prediction on a bingo board at the start of this season, but it was very much one to try and trip Marcus or Lewis up. And I think that's going to work. So is Sinek getting 20 goals, which is a prediction I'm very glad I did not get. Sign Morton. If we could only sign one of Delap or Morton permanently, who would you go for? I'd go for Delap, because I think Morton is more replaceable than Delap is. Although I think actually in like practical terms, when we'd actually have to pay actual money for them, I think Morton would be cheaper than Delap. That's my theory. Anyway, we've been going half an hour. I suppose this makes up for the very short preview we had the other night. By the way, the microwave is fine, in case you cared, which you definitely don't. Referees Oliver Langford. 2 liners are Christo Karaivanov and Alex James. 4th official is Jeff Eltringham. Looking at stats from the QPR game then, where it paints a picture of domination, but again, loads of possession, and we struggle to do anything with it and are punished for a silly mistake and also not stretching an arm out. Idiot. Moving on, head-to-head for Middlesbrough. In their last game, 4-2-3-1 under Michael Carrick. Seny Dieng in goal. They have got a bit of an injury crisis at the moment. Their back four was Rav Vandenberg, Matt Clark, Dale Fry, and Lucas Engel. Midfield was Dan Barlaser, Johnny Howson, and utility man Matt Crooks. Sam Greenwood and Morgan Rogers were the wide players, with Emmanuel Latte-Lath up top. Injury-wise for Middlesbrough, I believe Marcus Force is injured. Former Tiger, of course. I believe Lewis O'Brien is absent as well, as is Isaiah Jones, as is Hayden Hackney. So that might bode well. They've got a lot of injuries at the minute, have Middlesbrough. We do always struggle versus Borough. You're right. I think tomorrow's game gives us a good opportunity to judge Rossignol. If he still makes decisions like starting Seri, Allsop or Traore on the wing, I'll start asking questions. Fair enough. Connolly, done enough to earn a longer contract, you think, or move on, get someone else in? Tough one. Because since his good run of form at the start of the season, he hasn't played. So, based on that, I think so. And I think once he's playing, yeah, get him in. Extend that contract. Isaiah Jones hat-trick incoming. Connolly deserves more of a chance. And Ashley heard about the owner ref incident on the gym radio. Right then, current form, people. Let's have a look. We shall start with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Beat Huddersfield, drew with Swansea. It's as mixed bag as you can get this. 2 wins, a draw, and 2 defeats. Beat Huddersfield, drew to Swansea, beat Rotherham, lost to Watford, and lost to QPR as well. Borough, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beat Leicester, lost to Bristol City, beat Preston, lost to Leeds, and then lost to Ipswich. So if we look at the league table then, that leaves Borough in 12th place, 3 points behind us, with a win and goal difference swing. They could leapfrog us. But we have very similar records. We've both lost 2 on the bounce. We both won the game before that. So it's very, very, very similar, the records-wise. We are still, of course, in touching distance of the playoffs, and we're lucky that these 2 defeats haven't really lost us any ground. Watford have gained some ground now, though. They're unbeaten in 3. QPR getting ever closer to climbing out of that drop zone and making my comment about the bottom 3 staying the same look very, very stupid indeed. Baz said something on the 1904 podcast about if we can be level on points with the playoffs after not playing to our best yet. That's got to be a positive. Definitely would agree with that. Could do 2 strikers with 4 midfielders, 1 more advanced. Interesting. 3-1 loss. Everyone wanting loads of January signings. Have to bear in mind we do only have 1 more loan slot available, and players are very expensive in January. Very good point. Right, around the grounds on Championship Matchday 21. These games have kicked off now, so I'll refresh OneFootball and see how we are looking. Preston are already beating Huddersfield 1-0. Blackburn versus Bristol City is 0-0, as are the games between Swansea and Stoke, Rotherham and West Brom, and Watford versus Ipswich. Kicking off in 10 minutes, Sunderland versus Leeds. Tomorrow, the 7:45 kickoffs are as follows. Cardiff versus Birmingham, Coventry versus Southampton, Leicester versus Millwall, Norwich versus Sheffield Wednesday, QPR versus Plymouth, and then the 8 o'clock game is the main game on Sky, Middlesbrough versus Hull City, of course. Right then, memorable match. This was our first win at the Riverside in 36 years. Keane Lewis Potter gave us the win that day with his strike going past Joe Lumley. Aaron Connolly there in the Middlesbrough side. Our team that day was Ingram in goal. Back three was Jones, McLaughlin and Greaves. Two wing-backs were Longman and Fleming. Midfield of Smallwood, Slater and Honeyman. Then Lewis Potter and Syed Manesh, the front two. The bench was Nathan Baxter, the goalkeeper. Callum Elder, Greg Doherty, Tyler Smith, Tom Huddleston, Deshaun Bernard and Marcus Force with Shota Avaladze in charge. Another former Tiger on the bench there for Middlesbrough, Lee Peltier. Last time out against Borough, we took the lead through Aliyah, but then they just smashed us after half-time with 3 goals in 6 minutes. Sorry, I was just checking there. The under-18s are leading in the FA Youth Cup against AFC Fylde. And if it stays as it is, then they will play either Crystal Palace or Plymouth at the MKM, I think. So our team that day was Carl Darlow in goal. Back four was Louis Coyle, Sean McLaughlin, Jacob Greaves and Callum Elder. Midfield combination, let's go with, of Seri Slater and Pelkas. Syed Manesh and Vaughan were the wide players with Traore as a false 9. The bench was Matt Ingram, the goalkeeper, Ozan Tufan, Greg Doherty, Ryan Woods, Ryan Longman, Xavier Simons and Alfie Taylor with Rosenior in charge. For Borough, 2 former Tigers lining up for them, Chuba Akpom and Marcus Force. Our record against these lot, it's mixed. Lost the last 2, but before that we were unbeaten in 4 against them. So we need a bit of this action, really, and a bit less of 2-3-1 defeats on the bounce. So but if you're predicting 3-1 is probably a safe bet, based on the last 2. Wonder what odds are on Allsop. Howler this season have to be aiming to be in around the playoffs with the signings we've made. Agree. Playing away at Borough equals probably losing away at Borough. True. Next season about playoffs. This season about progressing to allow us to get some top players to come next year. Okay. Shared shirts. I've got a good one today. It's not the, obscure one you'd usually expect where I'd chuck in, like, I don't know, for example, what obscure ones have I done? Where we'd be playing, like, I'm actually looking at what obscure ones I've got now. Give us a sec. It's not an obscure player in the sense that picking oh God, I can't think of one now. It's not an obscure player in the sense that, like, picking Stephen Bywater for Coventry. But it's obscure in that because of the time he played for one of these clubs, you're probably not aware that he did. It's Nick Barmby. Played for Middlesbrough for a season, 1995 to 1996, 49 appearances for them, 10 goals. Joined us in 2004, left in 2012 after being sacked as player manager by the Alams. 197 appearances Nick Barmby made in black and amber, 32 goals. Right, predicted 11. This is a little bit of hoping Rosenior sees a bit of sense and also him being the most likely manager we've ever had to see sense. So in goal, Matt Ingram, yes. Back four, Coyle the skipper, Jones, McLaughlin and Greaves. I don't think he'll give Fairlong a chance, even though I would. Midfield, Traore, Morton and Slater. Twine and Vaughan, the wingers. Delap up top. Bench, Allsop, Vinagre, Tufan, Doherty, Seri, Fairlong, Smith, Christie and Connolly. That's what I'm thinking. And I've gone out of focus, so that's good. Lovely. Appreciate that. Come on, camera. There we go. I've done it. Right. Watch Traore play right wing. It doesn't work. Ingram ain't getting a game unless Allsop's injured. You know what? Bugger it. Stick Tim in. Don't stick Tim in. Do not stick Tim in. After his 2 performances for the under-21s recently, do not stick Tim in. I love him. But conceding 6 against bottom of the league, who before you played them had only scored 12 all season, and then getting sent off after 8 minutes. Yeah. Probably stay clear of Tim Lottatala for now. Traore on the wing is the most predictable thing. Only knows how to pass to the right back. Slater and Traore on the wings guaranteed. Evening, Ollie. How you doing, mate? Allsop will play because Rosie's proper stubborn. Right, score predictions, everyone. What are you thinking? For me, I'd be happy with a draw. 1-1. I've just chucked water all down myself because I've tipped the glass up too quick. That's brilliant, isn't it? Oh, well, it's only water. I'll try. And at least it's not down me retro Kappa stuff. Of course. Had to get a mention of that in before we leave. Jeff says 1-1. Tommy says 3-2 to us. I'd take either of those. Any more? Gallagher says 1-0. Tyler Morton, the goal scorer. Any more? Any more? 2-1 loss. Allsop to make mistake again. The lap to get the goal. 3-2 to the Tigers. Allsop scores every goal for both sides. Traore sent off. 2-1 with 2 Allsop howlers. 2-1 loss staying negative. I reckon we should do 2 fan over Traore and alternate between 4-4-2. I almost said 4-2-2 then. 4-4-2 and 3-4-1-2. Interesting. I won't mind that. Okay. Right. Cheers for that, everyone. You'll have a late night match day vlog tomorrow night. So look forward to that because it's a free afternoon for me from college. So I can go. Take care. See you all soon. Up the Tigers. All that jazz. Yeah. Goodbye.